Lop, 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 and welcome to another holly jolly video, everybody. Was that Christmas and jolly enough for a Christmas video? Hello, everybody. I'm the Goblin King. Okay, I'm coming at you on Christmas. Or, it's not Christmas right now. I'm recording for Christmas. But, you know, we're there. We're almost there. So, you guys are seeing this Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. Whenever this video is coming out, I have it scheduled. Boom. But, since, if you have been subscribed to my channel, you'll know that I've done Gobbleween this year. But I'm not doing Gobmas. Why? Simply because I can't really feel the content. Or Christmas content for a whole month. Gobbleween is different because there's lots of spooky stuff and lots of horror RPGs out there that you can do. And I also read horror stories as well because they fall into TTRPG content, and there's just not a lot of Christmas stuff. And what do you want me to do? Sit here and tell you what RPG to play on Christmas? Just go run your 5e campaign against Santa Claus or whatever. Just do your traditional stuff. I don't have anything new to input on that. Go play Call of Cthulhu, I guess, and then, I don't know, have Santa be an eldritch being or something. I mean, I guess he could technically be classified under that. But for today's video, I'm bringing you not necessarily Christmas-themed horror RPG stories, but they all do have Christmas somewhat involved. I definitely didn't go to the TTRPG Horror subreddit and just type in Christmas or anything. But that's what I want to do today. Instead of watching this video, how about you guys go get ready for Christmas Eve, or Christmas, or whenever this video comes out. Go spend time with friends and family instead of watching this video. But hey, if you're still watching this video, thank you for watching. I know you haven't watched it all the way through, but just simply clicking on the video is good enough for me. Leave a comment down below about how holly jolly you're feeling, or if there's something you want for Christmas and whatever. Next year I'll probably do a holiday giveaway if I'm still around and still uploading content. I hope I am, but you never know what life has in store for us. So if you have any ideas for a Gobmas or Christmas or whatever, the holidays next year, just write them down in the comments below. I'm open to advice and things that people want to see, video content that you guys want me to make. I'm open to all of it. So today we're just going to read some December Christmas holiday themed something. I'm sure it has Christmas somewhere in the story. But just know, as usual, these may or may not be real. I'll leave that up to you. Even if they're not real, they still make good stories to give advice on. And that whole spiel. If you have your own story, email me using the email in the description, or send whatever. Don't send gore videos. I don't know why that was funny to me. Just be good gobs, okay? Be good gobs. That horror story you send to me, whether it be TTRPG or just RPG in general. You can also always send me RPGs to check out, and I'll get probably around to it if I have the funds or the time. And that's it. Check the Reddit, check the Twitter. There's my plugins. Let's get on to today's stories. Christmas RPG Horror Stories. Holly Jolly Molly Gobmas edition or something. Important ad 3. Racism on Christmas was not fun. So, back in high school, I ran the D&D club. I was hosting a Christmas-themed mission since it was the day before we went on break. Had Christmas music playing, and even had a Santa hat on. The basic gist was that you were teaming up with Santa to get his bag back from hell, and the reward was Christmas-themed weapons. It was pretty fun, and we split the club into 3 groups, each having a DM. I did one, and I had 2 other DMs run the others. One of my players was a fairly new guy. He had only started really playing when he joined the club. No problem, a lot of the people were fairly new to the game. But when I had everyone go around the table introducing their characters, then we got to the guy. He introduced himself as Carl, a paladin, and that he hated elves. Which was weird, and I questioned him why. He didn't give a good answer, just, well, Carl hates elves. He would then go on to refer to himself in the third person whenever role-playing as Carl. A little weird, and I told him that I could help flesh out his backstory if he wanted. Then we continued, went through the mission, and at various times he would interject and say, Carl hated this other group of people too. Gnomes, then Dragonborn. When we asked why, he responded that Carl had been wronged by a gnome in the past. So I said that Carl hated that one gnome and not all gnomes. He didn't give a good reason for a Dragonborn. We finish up the mission, and when I'm packing up to leave, the kid walks up to me and says that Carl hated women too. I left immediately after that. Now, it sounds a bit fake, but this is high school, and high school D&D is always kind of, it's not exactly the best of the best, and given that you have, I'm assuming most clubs, you tend not to get like 4 hours in as a normal session. You tend to have 1 to 2 hours, but for the most part, yeah, this sounds like high school D&D. It's just a bad player. What else can I say besides talk to him or talk to other people about his behavior and try to make him see the wrongs of his way? I mean, if it's his character saying this, then that's one thing. I don't exactly think I would like to believe that people aren't this bigot. So again, just talk to them outside the game, talk to others, and see if you can make them change. Like, hey, that's not cool. Don't say that. No, don't be naughty on Christmas, okay? You'll get a bunch of coal. We'll lug it at your head. Don't say that part. But as always, talk to people, and I hope your newer games have been less racist. I hope your new games have had less racism. I'm gonna stop talking. Be jolly. Drink your hot chocolate with your gobmellows, and we're moving on to our next story. This one has Christmas eventually. Well, like I said, these aren't all gonna be super Christmas heavy. It's just another RPG Horror Stories for your Christmas viewing or holiday viewing, whatever. Our next story comes from Ian NT22. I think that's how you say our group made it a running joke when my character died. Not a super bad horror story, but one that's followed me around for a while. I started playing tabletop games around 14 years ago, and honestly, I'm surprised I so loved them with the way I was treated at first. So I met a guy who introduced me to a group because he had heard I wanted to try out role-playing games. I dabbled a bit in middle and high school, but nothing sucked, so hearing I had another chance made me really excited. He went on and on about his Shadowrun game and how all his friends had stories about their characters and how they'd been playing for years. That really excited me because I wanted to be a part of a long-running campaign and really develop a cool character. So he gets me involved, and I thought that I had made friends with a really cool group of people. First session happens, and I come up with a slick talking face for the group with a focus on being a getaway driver. Unfortunately, some bad decisions and rolls later, he ends up getting gunned down trying to protect the group during our first run. However, it was a bit disheartening, but then understood this was part of the game and just shook it off because everyone told me that's just part of the game. I still had a really good time. I really wished I knew what was coming. Fast forward a bit and I got to play a new character, but our GM wanted to try a new game and enter Scions. I've never heard of Scions, but it looks like they're going to expand it, so let's keep reading. For those of you not familiar, it's a really fun game where all the PC play children of gods from a bunch of different pantheons. You can also make your own birthrights to make magical items and such to give your character a bonus. Oh, I remember now. That part summed it up, being the children of God. Okay, I know what it is now. I haven't personally looked into it, but I know of the system. Trust me. You can trust me, can't you? It is the holiday season. I would never lie to you and get on the naughty list. My first one was a street tough who was a follower of Baron Samedi. A dude who was all about causing havoc and having fun. No one really involved him nor liked him, so I just took it upon as being new and trying too hard. So when the time came, I made another character. This one was a doctor who really wanted to help every single person who he could regardless of income and became a child of Athena. And my plan was play him as a more passive character. So a point came up when a bunch of skeletons were sucked into river Styx, which was transferred into sewers. Nothing was working, so I tried to heal the river. Bad idea, but what else could I do? And ended up with my character's arms being turned into bone. Another character down, and the laughter ensues. Oh yeah, not the best idea, but I tried. That was when it all started. Everyone thought it was hilarious when I died, and then made it a point to kill me whenever they could. A tank character? Oh, he's a magical being that kills you with one blow and vaporizes you. A fighter? Oh, he got past your armor and cuts you in two. It got so bad that during Christmas, another player made a bag for me that said, "Make a new character," with a reticle on a person's head as if they were being targeted. Everyone laughed, and so did I. Try to not make a scene, but I kept asking what was wrong with me or my characters. I carried that with me for years, and I was bad at games until I realized it was just a bad group. They bullied me constantly with so many workarounds and rules breakings to make a joke at my expense. These days, I tend to be the forever GM, and I always remember those moments and try my best to be fair when it comes to player characters, because I still remember how much that hurt. Good on you, OP. That is amazing that you're keeping your eye out for it. I'm sorry that it happened to you. I'm sorry that you got bullied. But it has made you a great GM, and I'm so glad that you're looking out for new players, which is the thing to do in this situation. You know, you're not always going to catch all the red flags, or you might not notice people picking on you when you think you should have noticed, because it's much easier to look back at it and like, oh yeah, they were making fun of me. They weren't laughing with me, they were laughing at me. So yeah, it was just a bad group of players. I'm glad you got out of there. Remember, guys, always check to see if your players are comfortable, if they're okay with everything happening. But if you look back on it and it's like, hey, they were bullying me, but you've moved on now, that's sort of kind of what you got to do. Pick your head up, move on, keep your eyes out, make sure that doesn't happen to other people. And remember, guys, even if it's not the holidays, just keep being good people. It's not that hard, just don't be a jerk. We have time for one more not-so-merry RPG horror story. This comes from Noah, the honey boy. My wife's boss is a gatekeeper. Earlier this year, I joined a local D&D club at the library my wife works at as a DM. I got an entirely newbie set of players, which is fine, and I've taught new players many times before. We're playing in a homebrew setting with very, very little magic. When I first got the rundown, I thought this was strange to play in such a niche setting that removes over half the options from play. No sorcerer, warlock, paladins, tieflings, gnomes, dragonborn. Now I actually really like low magic settings, but I understand I'm in the minority, especially in 5e. Not too bad, I suppose, so far, but as more new players decide to join, I rapidly began to see how he would rant on and on about how 5e is too easy and everyone should be magical. How older editions are so much better. So why aren't we playing an older edition if the head of the club hates the editions we're playing? No idea. It's hard enough for new players to learn the rules of a new system without having to ban half of the core rules, with the only explanation being another DM running another table doesn't like it. I don't know, maybe not worth of a horror story, but he's frustrating to deal with and refuses to change his mind on anything. Literally every other DM agrees we should just allow the players' handbooks for simplicity, but only he won't allow it. One last gripe that doesn't actually have to do with TTRPG is that when my wife proudly and excitedly told him about the Christmas present she bought me this year, a lovely and very expensive high quality sword, he told her it was crap made from China and that he only buys his swords from a blacksmith in Sweden. Totally ruined the gift giving experience for her. Rant over. Fair enough, this guy is an absolute D-bag. We got the classic, 5 editions easy, these older editions are harder. Yeah, 5e is a power fantasy. I think it's written very forefront. It's not like it's hidden anywhere. It's a very blatant, everyone knows 5e is the power fantasy. It's more for empowering the players because it's more streamlined rules compared to 3.5. I said it in my TTRPG review video, but yeah, 5e, the best thing is that it's super easy to pick up, and when you have a bunch of new players, that is fantastic. And going through and banning half the things, yeah, it's kind of hard to run a low magic setting, but it works. You can still have wizards and sorcerers, they're just few and far in between. And when you do come across magic, it just means magic is much more dangerous to people, and you can use that to your advantage, or you can also come at your disadvantage because maybe townsfolk don't trust you because you use magic. It also means magic items are a lot harder to come by, it doesn't necessarily make the rules of the game harder unless you specifically go jump through hoops and put in specific rules to absolutely downgrade spellcasting. But for the most part, if you don't like how someone's running a club or anything, you can always break away and start your own thing. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, especially if you're in a smaller town and that's like the only D&D thing around. But I think you can always, bring it up with the others, talk to everybody in the community. And again, it was just one person, so sometimes the majority just outrules, the one person who wants to not keep these rules. You guys can all just break away and make your own D&D club. Because I'm assuming you're adults, everyone can do their own thing. So, that's it. Nothing else to say. The very douchebaggy at the end. Look, it doesn't matter the quality of a gift that someone gives them. Even if it was, like, something made in China, it's not about the quality of the gift. It's about the meaning behind the gift. So, yeah, guys, just don't be douchebags. But this is probably just an older person, obviously, because they love the old editions. So, like they said, if they wanted it to be older editions and you're just going to complain about 5e, then put it in the older editions. The only reason he doesn't is because they would know that most people probably wouldn't be interested in trying to learn all the rules of 3.5. Jeez, that's a lot to remember. You better have tons of reference sheets ready. And we got Christmas at the end, so there you go. Hope you guys have enjoyed these somewhat Christmas-themed RPG horror stories. Comment down below what you would have done different or any part that you think was truly outrageous. These stories were, they were pretty mild today. Nothing crazy over the top happened, and that's all you can hope for when it comes to a TTRPG horror story. I know we kind of have like morbid curiosity. We want to see how depraved and bad people get, but I always want someone to have a fantastic time playing TTRPGs because I enjoy this hobby and I want other people to enjoy it too. So be good people. Enjoy your merry, jolly, holly Christmas, holiday, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy it. So I hope you guys have a lop of a day, a lop of a week, a lop of a holiday, and see you guys whenever the next video comes out. Stay nice!